all you need on your desk right now are your close reading notes and the passage that was just handed to you. And the passage that was just handed to you entitled The Squeaky Wheelbarrow. You will want those side by side because we are going to be using our close reading symbols in the passage. We don't have those symbols memorized yet, so we need that beside of it. Before we actually start reading the passage, if you will please turn to the question on the front of the second page. Right here. In 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's read this together. Ready?
Do a close reading of the squeaky wheelbarrow to determine the theme and analyze how the author develops his theme over the course of the text.
Pause. That's what we're getting ready to do. Okay? We're at your. Ready?
Your completed task should include highlighted or underlined details with annotations within the reading passage and a full analysis of the theme and the details that show how the author develops. Reveal this theme throughout the plot on the blank lines below.
Pause. Okay. Is that a lot to a question?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to underline some things for you. Whatever, underline. Who else needs to underline? Y'all need to underline. Okay? So, here's how the author develops this theme. Okay? And full analysis of the theme. Okay, those are the big things that we're going to focus on. What we've got to figure out how to do is with a huge question like this, we need to pull out the important parts of that question. Because this is really wordy. So the two big things are how the author develops this theme and then analysis of the theme. So we're going to break the theme down and show how the author develops it. Now, the reason why we went ahead and read the question first is so we know what to look for. Tell your shoulder partner, we read this first so we know what to look for.
We read this first so we know what to look for.
Okay, so we can get the question right.
So we can get the question right.
Excellent. Okay, so that's why we read it first. Now, if you will please flip back to the passage. Flip back to the passage. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. And along the left side, you will see a tiny little space. If you will put the little question mark right here. So these are going to be, or this is the area where we will take notes for our question. Specific question about the theme. The question that we're going to answer. On the right side, we're going to do our close reading marks. On the left side, it's specifically for the question we're going to answer. Does that make sense, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, got it?
Got it.
Good. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and start reading. Let's go ahead and start reading. So just like we've done in the past, we are going to, oh, it's underwritten. Couldn't find my notes for a second. Okay, just like we've done in the past, we are going to choral read, and at the end of every paragraph, unless I say keep going, we'll stop and analyze it for our close reading marks. Okay? We're at Mark and John. We're at Mark and John. Mark and John. We're going to read this together in unison. Ready? Mark and John had mixed feelings about being hired by Mr. Johnson to move a huge pile of firewood from the driveway to the back of his house. Mr. Johnson had promised to pay each of the boys $10 for the job. Mark and John both wished they were somewhere else. It was summer vacation, would be a good way for the two boys to learn something about the value of money. I need to see every mouth moving along with the story, and I need to hear every voice. Okay, we all need to participate. Core reading means everyone reads together in unison. Do we understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
I do not want to have to call you out individually. I will if I have to. This is your blanket warning. Okay, now let's look at these symbols. Who did we just meet?
Mark and John.
Mark and John. And who else? Mr. Johnson. C-H-A-R. That's going to be our character. Okay, we also hear something about their parents. So I'm going to do this. Right above their parents. Did we learn anything about the setting?
Yes.
Some vacation. Okay. Summer vacation. Setting equals summer vacay. I am going to put a little box like this and a star, because this might be important for us to come back to. Their parents, on the other hand, thought that $10 for a few hours of hard labor would be a good way for the two boys to learn something about the value of money. Do you think that might have anything to do with our question?
Yes.
It totally may. So I'm going to put a little star right here on these lines. We should probably come back to it. Okay. I'm going to start reading again in 3, 2, 1. We're at the second paragraph. It was a Saturday. Remember, I need to see every mouth moving. Hear every single voice. It was a Saturday. Ready?
It was a Saturday in the middle of July. Although it was only 9 o'clock in the morning, the day was already hot. Mark and John stared at the pile of wood.
Mr. Johnson explained the task. Pause. Okay. More about the what? We learn more about the setting. Tell your partner what you just learned about the setting. You have 15 seconds.
That is 9 o'clock.
5 seconds. Class?
Yes.
Tell me what we learned. Saturday in the middle of July. Excellent. Yes, it's hot. Hot at 9 a.m. Okay. Now, wear it like this. We're at, so you both take turns in 3. I'll give you a couple extra seconds. I realize I just wrote something down. Three, 2, 1. We're going to start it. So you both take turns. Ready? So you both take turns, Mr. Johnson said. One boy should fill the wheelbarrow with wood from the pile. Then the other boy should push it around to the back of the house. and dump it into the kitchen door. Keep going. Mark and John looked at each other. Something is wrong here. They both thought. When he speaks, Mr. Johnson looks way over the boy's head. And when he points at the pile of wood and the wheelbarrow, he misses by miles. Then they got it. Mr. Johnson is blind. Pause. What might we have just learned that might be important for our question?
Mr. John's blind.
Mr. Johnson is blind, so I'm going to put a little star by our question, like, we might want to come back to this line to help us answer our question. Now, we haven't really addressed point of view yet. I want you to look at your neighbor and tell them, if you need to move up, you can, and tell them, I want you to look at your neighbor and tell them what you think the point of view is. Okay? In 3, 2, 1, go. Now tell them why. Okay? Class?
Yes.
First or third, everybody?
Third.
Third. What words in the paragraph that we just read might tell you that? They. If you'll circle them with me. The boys. So we should say POV 3. They, the boys. He, they. Okay. Because the boys, they would just say our. If it was first person, it'd say, Mr. Johnson looks over our heads. Okay? Then we got it. Or we thought. Okay? Questions, concerns, confusion at this point?